am back. What it do, baby?
Watch the entire video.
Don't be a bitch.
Peep game. Homeless people get fed for the most part with food and volunteer services. Free game. Why they ask for money? For what? IDK. This could just be because of my algorithm, but this is this type of stuff I came across, like people talking about how they're willingly choosing to be homeless.
I'm homeless and I get ready for work at the gym. A lot of people don't understand why somebody would choose to be homeless, and honestly, rent was kicking my ass. I was paying $2,000 in household bills, and now I pay $20 for my gym membership.
I don't know if I'm going to swap out my whole house just for a gym membership, but it's working for her.
I'm homeless, and this is where I hide my stuff. My office has a locked cabinet, so I like to keep about a week's worth of stuff so I don't have to go to storage as often. I have a lot of scrubs for work, socks, underwear, and also my iron and ironing pad. Although I don't sleep here, I like to keep extra things I might need in case I run out of something in my gym bag. My cabinet comes with 2 keys, and I do leave one here and take one with me just so I won't lose both, and you do need a key to unlock it. I got this security bar from Amazon, and I keep it on the door just in case I need to change clothes in between jobs.
It's got to be a private office.
Act like I'm in here doing some work.
That got to be some type of private office that she's renting, which... if she is, she should be telling us how much that is, because that adds into it. Because she got $20-something for the gym membership, however much for the private office.
Being homeless taught me that this right here is enough for me. I went from a nice size, fully furnished apartment to keeping my necessities here in this 5x5 storage unit. Being homeless has also taught me that $20 Planet Fitness membership comes in handy. You never know. I use the gym to take showers. I get ready for work there. I get ready for dates. And yes, I said I date. Let's not act like y'all don't date with a bunch of past due bills and payment arrangements, okay? My bills are paid. Now,
that's crazy for you to be homeless, taking shots at people, thinking that the first thing they're going to talk about is you dating while being homeless. And you're right. It is the first thing people are going to talk about, because you know what people do. They shit on people all the time for dating and being in bad situations. They quite often tell them,
this is a sickness of the highest order.
Hey, you focusing on the wrong thing. You're focusing on the wrong thing. You focusing on dating when you don't have a place to stay. I understand nobody wants to be alone, but maybe get your priorities together.
Speaking of bills, I was never broke. I just had to get rid of my biggest bill, which was rent. And that's when I was able to save.
Nobody got a check till it's time to pay for something.
That's some broke people shit to say. That you got money, but you needed to get rid of your biggest bill, which is rent. Do you really have money then? Everybody got to pay some type of rent. It's either rent or mortgage, some type of something for the place you live at.
One of the most important things being homeless has taught me is you can move around easier when you're discreet. I was able to get my own office. I didn't have to show proof of anything. No one assumes I'm homeless and I'm just here trespassing. I look very put together. I pay my money. I'm able to use all the amenities here. I keep my stuff in a locked cabinet. I'm not loud. I just do what I have to do.
How much is this place? How much is the office that she's renting? She needs to say that. She needs to tell us that. How much is that storage unit? Because you can't just go off of, well, that $20 I spend for a Planet Fitness membership is really paying off right now, while everybody else is paying rent. All I got to pay is this $20. No, how much is the storage unit? How much is that office space? Because for the price of both of those, depending on where you live at, you could probably just get yourself a studio apartment. It may not be the nicest studio apartment, but it'll be somewhere. She also mentioned dating.
I'm homeless, and this is how I date. I shower and get ready at the gym, and then I take my stuff to storage since it's not that far. I Uber to and from the date, even though they usually ask to come and pick me up. I don't mention being homeless until the second or third date, but it hasn't been an issue so far. If you have a problem with me dating, just remember I'm homeless by choice, and unlike you, I don't have any rent to pay.
That's not a flex. That is not a flex. Not having rent and mortgage to pay because you choose to be homeless isn't a flex. Like you getting dressed in the gym because you don't have nowhere else to go, but you trying to flex on people that you still going out on dates. Congratulations. You put yourself together enough for a man to want to take you out to dinner while you're homeless. Congratulations. Once again, I think my previous statement still stands. Put more effort into getting out of homelessness. Put more effort into that.
So the date was going great. I just told him I'm homeless, and then I left him my Uber. This man sent me a text, and it said, I have plenty of space for you at my house, but I don't want to make you uncomfortable, so get a hotel room tonight. And he sent me some money. I started to tell my Uber driver to pull over right there so I can run into his arms like they do in the movies. But I can tell from her playlist that she was not about to play games with me. So I texted him back and I was like, "Aw, you didn't have to do that." But yes, he did.
Because I heard him first. I said, hold on. I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
How you homeless demanding or saying this man had to give you money for a hotel room to stay at? He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do nothing. Y'all just dating. Like you said earlier, you don't tell people on the first date, you tell them about the second or third. So this is about the second or third date. And you thinking he obligated to cash you out? Fuck out of here.
I know y'all wanted that man to block me so bad so y'all can say, that's what you get. Don't need to be dating while homeless. Get your priorities together. I'm going to need you to get your rent money together.
All right, I guess you telling me I need to get my rent money together. I have my rent money together. I'm not sleeping in a car, any of that other stuff. You doing all this flexing. All is fake. It got to all be fake because you talking about how other people need to get their money together, but you homeless by choice. My bad. Nobody is going to be homeless by choice. Now, you do have this group of people who I and maybe the general public would classify as homeless. These people will classify themselves as houseless travelers.
I'm a nomad, and I was once just a runaway 17-year-old girl. But one thing the past me and current me have in common is it's hard for me to stay in one place. When I first became houseless, it was the escape. There was nothing else. I didn't have music or friends by my side. I didn't have a goal other than the one that crept into this new life ahead of me: survive. So I ran. I ran from my past, from those who hurt me, from the world, and from myself. I was a stranger, one that hated me and couldn't even figure out why. So I hitchhiked from one city to another. Anytime I felt haunted by my past, I left it in the city behind me. It worked the first time, so I just kept doing it, even though I didn't need to move for the same reasons anymore. Then I learned that if you run and only look behind you, eventually you'll trip on your own feet and have to stop. I tripped, and I sat in San Francisco for a whole month, right around where I grew up, right around where every painful thing I experienced up until I left happened. I set up my camp in a huge park tucked away into some trees, and I sat with myself. I sat through rain, through every long foggy night, and through everything that reminded me of my trauma and the fact that I am the only one who could face it. I sat until my body stopped wanting to run away from the world and instead learned to look forward to it. I felt lighter as I left that part of me with the dying summer, and I kept on moving along the coastline with the fall. Then after a while, I had to learn something else. I learned that if you run and only look directly in front of you, you might trip too. So I sat again, but this time it didn't take so long, and I think I figured part of it out. I was constantly trying to flood my mind with all these new places and new experiences so that when I looked behind me or in front of me, it didn't seem so scary. It felt like I was making distance from behind me and getting closer to whatever was in front of me, but I was still missing the whole point. We will always only be in our present, whether we like that or not. The past and future only really exist to influence our present, to keep us moving and flowing with this strange, ineffable existence that is only moving just as much as it is still. So now I move with the world. I look around me, I look down at my feet and up at the sky. I look behind me and ahead of me, but I let it remind me that I am here right now, just as far away from everything as I am part of it, and it will always be that way. I leave a part of me in every city I go to, but I take it with me too. Nowadays, when I feel the need to move on from a city, it's not because I'm scared my trauma is about to catch up with my travels. It's because I get excited to keep flowing with the world, and therefore with all aspects of myself. I get excited to be where I am, where I will be, and to be a part of the beauty of leaving everything behind in a way that keeps it right with us. I get excited for the plants I'll see and the people I'll meet, the weird ways I'll find myself in weird places. I get excited to make use of the lessons I've learned and to just be. I still do have a hard time staying in place every now and then. I'm only human, so sometimes it is because the past is part of my present, and that's not always easy to live with and accept with every moment. But usually it's for better reasons now, and either way, it's much easier and much more fulfilling to sit with. I'm a nomad, and I was once just a—
Why did you run away from home? That may be inappropriate to ask, but did you kill somebody? Like, it seems weird to me. Like, why did you leave? What traumas are you trying to escape from? Is it the police? Is it murder? You're running up and down the coastline. Are you trafficking drugs? Are you really homeless though? Because the curls look like they was on point. G.
I get asked pretty frequently how I take care of my curly hair as a houseless traveler. So here's my routine after almost 3 years of figuring it out. I used to
Keeping up with your personal hygiene is a must, especially for the average everyday person. But when you homeless, I know it has to be even more work. The first lady explained nothing about how she keeps up with herself. At least this houseless person, at least this homeless traveler.
Oh, you almost had it.
Can explain to us how she keeps herself up.
I get asked pretty frequently how I take care of my curly hair as a houseless traveler. So here's my routine after almost 3 years of figuring it out. I used to carry around a ridiculous amount of hair products to try to tame the frizz, but I've managed to narrow it down to just 3. Hask shampoo, Hask conditioner, and Cream of Nature curl activator. This trio of products, especially the last one, is magic for my hair, which otherwise dreads itself after a day of being an afro. And don't get me wrong, I love my fro too, but I found that the best way for me to take care of my curly hair while traveling on foot is to wear a protective hairstyle like finger coils. I get all my products from Walmart for about $5 each, and they last me anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. So about once a week, I take a few hours out of my day to wash, finger coil, and sun dry my hair. I try to make sure there's no
Take a few hours out of your day. You're homeless and you're just walking around traveling. Like, unless you're trying to outpace something, you got nothing but time.
humidity, but of course that's not always possible while traveling. So I do my best and wear my bonnet when it gets too humid. I usually use about a gallon of water, unless I'm lucky like I was here, where I had regular and repeated access to water. Oftentimes I have to wash my hair in public places that don't have water fountains or faucets, just because that's where I happen to be on wash day. So whatever water I have in my backpack is what I have to work with. It usually turns out just fine though, and as long as I put on my bonnet before I crawl into my sleeping bag for the night, I'm usually good until next week.
Yeah, I mean, if it worked for you, it worked for you. I don't know. It seems like a lot to go through for these people to just want to live out on the road. But if it's what they want to do, it's what they want to do. Clearly, these people are doing it by choice. She left by choice. The other lady left her house by choice. It's something these people want to do by choice. Do I agree with it? No.
I've made a few videos now about me cooking as a houseless traveler, but I'll be honest, most days my meals do not come from cooking because it requires a lot of energy, time, and specific criteria to be met. For the most part, I cannot safely make a fire and also find something to cook the food in every day while potentially hauling around canned goods, as that's often part of my cooked meals. So here are some of my favorite free and cooking free meals and snacks I've gotten in the past week or so. At number 5, we've got beach trash avocado. If it was almost any other fruit or vegetable, it probably wouldn't make the list. But avocados are pretty expensive and they're definitely a treat. Also, this one was not brown, and that's definitely a first for me with trash avocados. So at the very least, it was exciting. At number 4, I found some cheeseweed near where I camped one night, which is one of my favorite plants. The little seed pods are edible and nutritious, and they sort of taste like okra to me, and they're even in the same family. I just laid in my sleeping bag and snacked on them for a while. At number 3, Food Not Bombs has to make the list somewhere. If you don't know, this organization provides free vegetarian meals all over the country, and I want to say outside of the US too, which is very important to me, and the food is always homemade and pretty good. Number 2 is chocolate from a fancy bakery dumpster. This was actually some of the best chocolate I've ever had, and I'm a huge fan of chocolate, and it was far from the only dumpster that was full of delicious gems that night, so honorary mention to all of those too. And finally, at number 1, while I was busking, I met the most generous 2 sisters who took me inside the grocery store and let me get absolutely anything I wanted. I picked out a lot of food I haven't had in years, and I'm so very grateful for their generosity. I'll be thinking about that for a long time probably. My food comes from a wide variety of sources, all of which makes me appreciate it even more. And although I do love cooking, I'm so glad I don't have to find a fire spot with fire food and a trash-dived aluminum pan every single day.
I can't even say that this is fake because I don't know anybody who's about to just dig through the trash and eat it for clout, for internet views. Of course, we didn't see her eat it, so we can't confirm that she ate it. I don't know. This is either a very strategically built internet persona, or somehow she's managing to always have perfect curls, lighting, being able to do this all while homeless, which is possible. It is very possible.
In a recent video, I went dumpster diving at some sort of boba tea cafe, and I came across what seems like the entire stock of the store. Luckily, I wasn't alone, so we were able to fill up an entire truck full of milk tea stuff, which was only about half of the good stuff in the dumpster. So we went back the next day, and now it's a mess. Either someone else found it too and raided it, or there was some sort of issue with the trash being taken out. I don't know, but it was pretty wild. I tried to clean up a bit as I picked through stuff, which is a good thing to do if you regularly dumpster dive, especially if you find a really good score. The last thing you want is for a good dumpster to get locked because somebody trashed it, no pun intended. And while it sucks to clean up after other people, it's beneficial to everyone all around. What's also pretty strange is the other random things I stumbled across, like pasta sauce, a bunch of baby formula, lavender bath solution, and so much more. I'm lucky that for this haul, I happen to know some people that live in a house in this area, and they're letting me store the cafe stuff there until fall, where I can hopefully bring it back to Slab City and run some sort of makeshift cafe. I've actually always wanted to do something like this too, ever since I first came to Slab City in 2022. I had the idea of running a cafe serving a bunch of tea made out of plants I foraged, but this honestly is a bit more exciting in different ways. Overall, it was a really good haul, and I'm super excited for the fall now.
So you know people with a truck and a house? I'm confused. Why are... All right, I guess some of these people are just actually choosing to be homeless. There's no other reason about it. First lady openly admitted to being homeless. She didn't say these people won't let her stay with them. She's clearly staying somewhere because she has all these plans going on. So she's planning something, but according to herself, she just leaves places when it's time for her to go and her trauma starts catching up to her.
It's that time of the year again to say goodbye to Slab City. I've noticed that with every year, I'm leaving Slab City earlier than the year before. First year I came here as a runaway, I stayed until July. Second year, mid-May. And now here I am leaving in April. I guess that's just how life is. As time goes on, the things that once seemed so magical just become normal, and that's okay. I think the honeymoon phase of traveling and being a Slab City snowbird is slowly wearing off, and honestly, I'm a bit glad. Every year I leave Slab City, I find it so hard to walk away. I know this summer is brutal, and there's a whole country of places to hitchhike to, trains to ride, things to see, people to meet, and experiences to be had, but every time I find myself barely holding back tears, if I can at all. I've honestly never really felt at home anywhere except Slab City. I never really felt respected as a person or like I was allowed to discover and create me until I found this crappy little place in the desert. So it's kind of hard saying goodbye to all my friends, to all the places, all the memories, and honestly, life is so short I can never fully be sure if I'll ever see anyone again. But I think that's what makes it all so beautiful, maybe, the impermanence. Every month that goes by that I'm in Slab City, I'm reminded of this, and I appreciate it so much more. Every winter is so different from the last, and every summer I travel is too. It's not like I have the easiest time giving up traveling when I go back to Slab City either. Every train I hear rumbling through Nyland makes me want to go. Every traveler passing through makes me antsy. But we make sacrifices for other sacrifices every second of every day, and finding a balance is difficult but possible. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, time will always be there to crush us a bit, to squeeze the appreciation and humanity right out of us so we can look at it and not forget. Nothing is permanent, things will always change, and it hurts somewhere deep, but that's also where it feels most human. So with that being said, I'm excited to see where the next few seasons will take me. Goodbye, Slabs, and hey, I held back tears this time. It's that time of the year again to say goodbye to...
So I thought she was traveling up the coast. I'm so confused with this person. This person just likes traveling around the country. They are a nomad. They could be one of those Nepo babies parents work at some Fortune 500 company bringing in millions of dollars a year that just afford her this luxury. Or it could be real. I don't know. The page is looking more and more suspect. The deeper we take a look into it, it's making us ask more and more questions. But that's it for this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What's Slab City? Do y'all want to live in Slab City while it's cold? Y'all want to be a Slab City winter bird? YouTube thinks you'll like this comment up there. So do I. Until next time. Peace.